I'm told that if you converted this to US dollars, you'll be able to get about 253,000 US dollars. So there will be some farmers that will benefit immediately out of this payment as we now collect money to assist Treasury to pay farmers more timely. I look forward to a day where a farmer upon delivery does not have to spend more than 48 hours without getting their payment. So as we build this fund, farmers can expect that any delivery to the GMB will be paid just like any delivery. The requirement of national foods, for example, ought to be secured through contract financing. And that recently Cabinet passed a recommendation to, by 2028, for selected value chains for the private sector to be able to fully finance their requirements. There is no reason, there is no logic in the government taking a teacher's salary or the payments under payee and being supporting a farmer and taking that, purchasing that from that farmer and keeping that at GMB for the private sector to come and purchase and establish a business in town. That's criminal. So we want the private sector to be able to finance their own requirement. The role of government is to create an enabling environment for that. Albeit in a developmental state such as ours, there will also be strong state participation, as you see now in establishing and maintaining the strategic grain reserve, but also very strong state facilitation for that effort. So the private sector and us are aligned in this regard, that there is really no need for government to use taxes to produce for the private sector to come and purchase that produce. We must create an enabling environment where business can thrive and prosper. Any other questions?
Foremost, I extend my sincere thanks to all stakeholders and everyone who contributed to bringing this fund to fruition. Your dedication and support have been invaluable in creating a framework that aims to enhance the livelihoods of our farmers and ensure food security for our nation. I would also like to acknowledge the collaborative efforts of various stakeholders, including government agencies, agricultural associations, and our development partners. Your contributions have been vital in shaping this fund and aligning it with the needs of our farming communities. This partnership underscores the importance of working together towards a common goal, enhancing food security and improving the livelihoods of our farmers. Today marks not just the launch of a fund, but a significant step towards empowering our farmers. The Crop Purchase Buffer Fund will provide timely financial assistance, allowing farmers to invest in their crops and secure their livelihoods. This initiative reflects our commitment to ensuring that every farmer has access to the resources they need to succeed. As we move forward, let us remain dedicated to monitoring the implementation of this fund closely. It is essential that we engage continuously with farmers and stakeholders to ensure that this initiative meets its objectives effectively. Together, we can build a resilient agricultural sector that supports our economy and sustains our communities. In conclusion, thank you once again to everyone who has played a role in making this launch a success. Your dedication and hard work are truly appreciated, and I look forward to witnessing the positive impact this fund will have on our agricultural sector. Thank you very much.
Good. Welcome to the launch of the Crop Purchase Buffer Fund. The context of the transformation of agriculture, guided by the Agriculture, Food Systems and Rural Transformation Strategy, is to create a $13.75 billion agricultural sector by 2025 from a $5.6 billion agricultural sector in 2020. By 2022, we had already become a $9.9 billion agricultural sector. So you can see the growth, the stellar performance in the agricultural sector, driving growth in other sectors, and towards Vision 2030 as eloquently pronounced by the President, His Excellency Dr. Edi Mnangagwa. It is in this context that the crop purchase buffer fund was mooted. As we transform agriculture, and because of climate change, where Zimbabwe is predicted to become drier in the decades ahead, we need to review our strategic grain reserve. So Cabinet directed that the strategic grain reserve be reviewed from a physical stock of 750,000 metric tons to 1.5 million metric tons. So attendant with that was also the silo expansion project to be able to handle this additional physical stock. We currently are constructing at 7 silo sites, 292,000 additional metric tons additional capacity to create just over 1.14 million metric tons worth of silo capacity, perhaps by end of 2025 into 2026. That journeying towards the 1.5 million metric ton physical silo storage capacity that we want. Obviously, it means that we need to restructure the production system, which is why we've introduced the Agriculture and Rural Development Authority. And in the new marketing context, where we'll say the private sector ought to contract at least 40% of their annual raw material requirement. In fact, discussions are beginning to take place so that they can contract 100% of their annual raw material requirement for key crops by 2028. Atikuumba mari inobetsera varimi kuti vabhadharwe zvirimwa zvavo nenguva zvavanenge vaendesa kudura renyika Grain Marketing Board. Varimi vazhinji vanotondera kuti makore apfuurayo kana gore rapera taiti taendesa zvirimwa zvedu kuGMB togara tichibvunza kuti tichabhadharwa rini, nokuda kuti tisingazivi kuti GMB ichazowana mari rini kubva kuhurumende kuti itibhadhare. Hurumende yakaona zvakakodzera kuti tsvage dzimwe nzira dzokuti tiwane mari kubatsira homwe yenyika inobva kuTreasury. Saka pari zvino tawana mikana miviri yokuti tikwanise kuumba homwe iyi. Wokutanga ndiwo kuti veFC vachatibatsira netuminda twatakavapa kuti vakwanise kutengesa mastendi nezvimwe zvakadero mutawindi, vatibetsere. Tikaonawo kuti varimi vakapuwa munda vazhinji vacho vanga vachibhadhara mari kubazi rino rehurumende, asi mari iyi yakanzi ngaibatanidzwe iinde muhomwe iyi igokwanisa kubetsera varimi. Nhasi patiri kuparura chirongwa ichi tatova nemari inoita zig 6.4 million chatotanga kubhadharwa varimi neGMB kubva mangwana chaiwo, neiyo inonzi pachirungu Crop Purchase Buffer Fund. Tatenda. Therefore, we expect increased production of cereals destined for the strategic grain reserve to build this physical stock of 1.5 million metric tons. That will obviously put pressure on the fiscus, which has been up to now the only sole source for supporting the strategic grain reserve through availing resources to this ministry and to GMB to purchase the strategic grain reserve requirement of 1.5 million metric tons worth of maize, wheat, and traditional grains. Which is why we have had to innovate around purchasing of grain. Purchasing of grain to complement treasury efforts, but purchasing of grain also to ensure that these occasional dislocations in cash flow at the fiscus level, leading to long periods when farmers have not been paid, are reduced and eventually eliminated. You recall that last year, wheat farmers were paid after 8 to 9 months or longer. You may recall that some wheat farmers have still not been paid 4 weeks after delivery. So what we would like to do as a government is to ensure that farmers are paid as expeditiously as is humanly possible upon delivery of their grain, because farming has to be viable, profitable, sustainable, so that they can utilize these resources to be able to retool and to go back to this summer season where we are expecting so much. So Cabinet, in its wisdom, on the 10th of October 2023, approved the establishment of a crop purchase buffer fund. This crop purchase buffer fund would be resourced from two areas. The first, at that stage, was the thinking that these land levies that are paid by farmers to this ministry and which go into land administration perhaps ought to be ring-fenced for purposes of establishing this crop purchase buffer fund. Then the other source of financing for the establishment of this crop purchase buffer fund was to be this fund that we gave the Agricultural Finance Corporation, AFC. We gave them 10,000 hectares worth of land, urban land, which was to be developed to ensure that we can provide a fund to finance agriculture. And within that, Cabinet approved the establishment of a USD $50 million fund, which would be resident at AFC and which would be mobilized and given to GMP should there be a need to assist the Treasury to timeously effect payments to farmers. We've started collecting money into this fund, and as of yesterday, just over 98,000 US dollars have been collected into this fund. Just over 6.4 million Z